What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the channel. I mean, we may as well just get into it, right? We've got our boy Homer. He's fresh back from Tom Bailey's Sick Powerfest, and we haven't done anything to him since we've been back, which has been a little over a day now. I haven't even unwrapped the hat. I haven't started him. I haven't looked at anything, but we know we have some damage back here from the one fault we had in the run. But, you know, if you do something, you might as well do it right, and we did. We just absolutely crushed that barricade with the rear end of Homer. So we've got to dive into that, see what we can do to fix it, see how bad the damage is. We've got to go through the engine, make sure we're okay there, which I believe we are, because Homer's next stop is going to be in Sikeston, Missouri for No Name Nationals 2024. So we're going to go down there and hang out with them, do a little burnout, hang out with some people. But anywho, we've got to get ready for No Name. We've got to get Homer dialed in. So, you know, again, let's quit talking about it. Let's be about it. This is Buster Radio Garage. All right, guys. So first things first is going to be this mess. Now, I did look at it in the video with you on my outro of the last video, if that makes sense. But I haven't gone through any of this all. So we're going to kind of go through it together. I noticed this is one of the biggest parts. I broke my end trim piece here, which is terrible. So I want to get this somewhat kind of straightened out and get that beat back in there, however we can get that done. The bumper, you know, we can kind of make that work-ish. So we'll have to fart around with that. So let me see how I got this strapped on here real quick, and then we'll dive into this trunk. I am willing to bet $1 to a donut we have some 4-pan damage, because Homer had no 4-pans, and we just made some jazz out of street signs. Let's see what we got. I forgot I had all this crap in here, to be honest. But yeah, look, I mean, you know, that's that's no longer flat, and I'd be willing to bet this side isn't either. Fortunately, we didn't get into our battery or our fuel cell, especially the fuel cell. I'm thankful for that. I actually had this battery back here when I was doing the run, so fortunately that didn't get broke. But let's see about getting this jazz out of here and see what we got going on. All right, good. We'll just chuck that over there with the ever-growing stack of busted burnout tires. This one's probably getting a little more interesting. Man, good night. Look at this. I mean, we just straight up destroyed these things. Come here. Good night. All right. Well, we got some bucklage. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's bad. So we're going to do the right thing, and we'll just kind of beat those down and just get this somewhat cosmetically okay. Because this body isn't going to last much longer, y'all. I mean, it's unfortunate. But, I mean, we've got buckles just absolutely everywhere. The frame rail up underneath the driver's seat's broke. I mean, we'll make him last as long as we can, I promise you. But, again, we've got the original OG Homer body sitting over there. So we've got a body. To be honest with you, I'm probably just going to buy somebody's beautiful garage-kept 10,000 original mile baby they wiped with diapers. And I'm just going to buy it and bring it over here and make a burnout car out of it. I mean, let's just be honest. That's what's going to happen. So, anywho, we have really talked about making Miss Mabel our next burnout car. Kathy and I have talked about it. We're into the oddity stuff. We like to do stuff that nobody else is doing, and that's real. I mean, Kathy's even leaning on me hard about doing that. So it may be in the future for her. We don't know yet. All right, guys, first things first. I went ahead and got a battery boiling here so we can test on Homer here in a little bit, start him up and see how he's going to do. I went ahead and got the strap removed so, you know, the bumper is not laying on the floor. All right, so let's get under here and see what all we got going on. It looks to me, judging by just the hole being open there, that this bolt either backed out or it's sheared off. But we are going to find out here. Let's see, there's the hole there that it's supposed to be bolted to. Yeah, it looks to me like the bolt just sheared off or backed out altogether, which is crazy to me. We've never had that bolt out. I think I have a few of those laying around. And then over here, looks like this one here just plumb got bent. So we may be able to get this back on here somewhat-ish. So let me see if I can find some of them bolts, which I think I have. And it may just be as simple as a little bit of bending and bolting and get this kind of somewhat-ish, and then we'll figure out the rest of it. All right, guys, gotten here to looking at this other bracket for the bumper to see what I was going to need to try to get that cut off and removed. And we found a pretty serious issue, actually. Homer's body definitely won't be used next year with this problem. I'm going to try to scoot through the rest of this year, or at least through no name. But anyway, let me show you what we got. Let me see. I'll have to show you the rest when I get the bumper off. But as you can see, here's the bumper bracket. That obviously holds the bumper, but it is also pushed over here into the spring perch, which has it pulled away from the frame. Well, let me see. Let me get my hands situated here. But this here is all supposed to be flush with the frame rail here, and you can see we've got a good 2-inch, if not bigger, gap that is pushed over here against my spring, and as you see, it has it pulled way over here to the passenger side, to the point where we're actually tearing the metal here off of the frame rail. So we're gonna have to get this bumper off here and see what we can do, and then we're gonna have to try to get this issue resolved, because I promise you that is not gonna hold another 50 or 60 mile an hour tip-in. That'll just shear off, and then, this stuff's just going to go everywhere. So I guess what I'm going to do now real quick is I'm going to try to get this bumper off, and then we're going to get in here and see what we can do to address this issue. All right, good deal. We got the bumper off. That is an easy 300 pounds. No, I'm just kidding. Probably 100-some pounds of weight reduction, but well, if nothing else, I got a new front bumper for Homer. So let's see, let's get the old light out and see what we got going on up in here, and hope. Give it here. Okay, let's just do this. All right, so let's see what we got going on up underneath here. All right, guys, it is what I thought. So I got to get the rest of this bracket out of the way, and part of me is thinking I'm just going to leave it in here because it's good and wedged in there, bolted in. I know that sounds terrible, but if I pull this out, that's going to leave all the room in the world for this to move around. But this right here is the actual frame rail that this spring is bolted to, and it's actually broke plumb off from right here. It was attached over here. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to leave this alone, come up with maybe some kind of contraption to hold it in place until through no name, and then this body is done. Well, I just had to find us another Cordoba to make another Homer body out of. As you can see over here, with my light, over there is supposed to look like this. Nice and square and even. Over there, this whole piece is completely broke off and shoved all the way over here. So, yeah, that is no bueno over there. That's done. So we'll make this work the best we can until after no name, and then we're either going to find another Cordoba to make another Homer, or Miss Mabel is going to get redone, renamed, and be our new burnout car. So for now, let's go and get this cleaned up as best as possible, and then we're going to go up and check the engine out and get that, looked over, checked, which I think is fine. And then we're going to go from there. All right, guys, now that we got that kind of figured out what's going on, I mean, obviously that is completely toast under there, but we're going to try to make it last. If we got to, I'll run a ratchet strap around or something just to hold it in place until we can get through no name. But for now, we got to just get this, anchored down. So I'm going to pop this bolt loose, pull this off, take a sledgehammer, beat that all back somewhat square, throw this back on, bolt it just to where my deck little shut. So essentially kind of look like that-ish. No rear bumper, but I really don't care. And then, we'll get this bolts here tightened back down to where, this will lock so it's not flopping around everywhere. And then I suppose we'll unwrap the hat, check, oil, transmission fluid, all the regular good stuff. Throw that boiling batter in there and fire him up and see how he does, check on our oil pressure and all that jazz. Move him around here and here a little bit, make sure that rear end's going to be okay. And then we are going to be ready and set up for no name, which is here in, I don't know, 30 some days, roughly, I don't know. And then we'll go down there and roast off a set of tires and see what happens. See if we can find another Doba. Maybe use that body or use Miss Mabel or find something else. Kathy's really leaning towards like something super small, like a D50 or a Pacer or, you know, a Gremlin, something like that, a Colt, whatever. May even go that route, but that's, you know, ultimately going to be a winter project. So we just got to get through the rest of this year. So, you know, enough yapping. Let's get this rear end fixed and get onto the engine. All right, cool. Got these bolts loose. So we're just going to pop that off. You can see how roached that got bent around. That's, you know, leading to all this. That sucks about these too, because these are, you know, these are steel versus the cheap plastic ones or fiberglass like you see on the 300. So that's kind of a bummer. But anyway, I'm going to get a, you know, a motivator out, and we're just going to try to beat at least this area here straight or flush so I can just get that bolted back on and say heck with it. And then the rest of it's going to be what it's going to be. That should be good enough, because all this crap here will tuck in this hole, so I'm not really worried about that. There we go. Just like downtown. So we'll bolt that back up and call that good enough. All right, let's get this put back on here, and then we're going to fire this engine up, see how it sounds, and then go from there. That's a bummer about that rear end, but we're going to jimmy something together and just try to get through No Name with that. I mean, there's not a whole lot of room at No Name for like a big massive tip in, but I would still like to get out there and have fun with him, you know what I mean? So we'll kind of see what happens and go from there. I just need this on here enough for where it doesn't go flying off and hurt somebody. Not looking for beauty points or anything like that. Yeah, there's no way that bottom is going back in. Boom, there we go. That is good enough for us. So we'll put a sticker here and you'll never even know it happened. All right, we're gonna call that good enough. That'll work for No Name and any other little thing we want to fart around with. Worst case scenario with this, I'll strip all the chrome off of it and we'll have a new front bumper for Homer, just for looks, because, you know, it's really not going to do anything. I'm happy with that for now. Right now, I just want to check on the engine, make sure it's okay. And then I'm going to get back here and I'm really going to try to do something to support that spring perch. But let's see what we got going on here, see what we got as far as oil pressure. I'll check the oil real quick and we'll go from there. Let's get all of this jazz off here with my semi-dull scissors. I want to tear up my linkage. Get off there. All right, good deal. Check this oil. Should be full. We never did, yeah, that's perfect. We never did really get hot. Temperature stayed okay. I think we got up to about 180, which wasn't too bad for no longer than we were out there. Everything looks okay just for a fire up. So let's fire him up, see what oil pressures are. All right, good deal. We got a fresh battery. Power switch. Let's go see what our boy does here. Come on, Homer. Oh, love this seat, man. It's like getting on grandma's couch. All right, power. Water pump. Let's do this. Give him a little bit of juicage. Oh, yeah. He's set. We're going to go ahead and get some new plugs. Probably going to update the wires because I got some that are kind of starting to get a little crispy. Oil change, the normal maintenance, if that makes sense. And then we will see everybody in Sykeston, Missouri for No Name Nationals. Our boy Homer's probably going to be this body's last run before we switch over to a new body for Ice Cream Cruise and Cletus's last event in November, unless we can stretch this body out. But Homer's going to get a new body, which we knew that was coming. We're like on our second or third year with this body now. And let's be honest, we have beat the literal crap out of this car that was sitting in a junkyard for 26 years. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We got plenty of content coming up on Hot Mess over there. And like I said in yesterday's video, I've got a car that you all haven't seen in years. Was a pretty popular YouTube car for a while, but we ended up with it. We're going to try to get down there and get it picked up sometime this coming up week. It's going to be sick. We're going to have a ton of fun with this car. And all right, that's going to be it. We'll catch you next time. BRG out.